Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Doug is in Dig as Moss Hunters and Moss Honeys. We are here with more Monster Hunter World gameplay, and today we're fighting the... I don't know. His name is like really hard to pronounce. They say his name in the cutscene. They say it quite a few times in the cutscene. I don't remember the cutscene. It's like Jyuratodus or something like that. Regardless, I'm not going to call him that. You can hate me right now. Please hate me right now. Hate now. Hate. Because I'm not going to call him what they call him in the game. I'm going to call him Muddy Soft. That is a much better name, okay? That is a very good localized name. He is in the family of Plessy and Lavisoth, and Plessy, I don't know what the suffix necessarily means. Probably means something with water. Lavisoth, well, sounds like lava. He's in the lava. Muddy Soft, my name for him, he's in the mud, okay? Come on, he's the same thing. Give him the name. Anyway, today we fight Muddy Soft. So, Muddy Soft, he was also available to fight in the beta. He wasn't a direct quest monster, but he was in the area if you were to fight anything in the Wildspire Waste. He normally relegates himself way into the corners to, I think, area 11. He kind of stays over there. It's kind of his little thing. He will venture to 2 different areas, but that's on, what, 1 different area? The areas are kind of really big. He will only go to this area, maybe like 2 areas, I believe. One where the bears would normally sleep, and then the area where... well, I guess a little bit more open, but it's kind of like a swampish kind of area. But he only goes to those 3 areas, so he will always find him in this location. That's because he needs to be around water and mud and things like that. And those are the only 3 areas in the map that actually have things to accommodate that for him. So, with that being said, let's talk about him a little bit more. Now, he's really not hard at all. He's actually a very easy monster. He does kind of hit fairly decent, but he does a lot of flashy kind of things that doesn't necessarily pertain to a lot of attacks, where he'll spin around in the water to recover lost mud that you knock off his body. He will just throw mud everywhere. I mean, that's kind of his deal. So if you actually were to make Barrett armor, this would be a great time to fight him, because your muck resistance skill will actually help you out a little bit. But there's another skill that I would really wish that I would have had to actually fight him, though, which would be Aquatic Expert, which we will get from his particular armor, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Because when fighting in the water, it's a little slower on your mobility. You can't necessarily move too well. You can't really dodge too well either. So you kind of have to like take it for what you can. Granted, like I said, he's not a very tough monster to actually fight. Just really watch his abilities. Understand that whenever it goes underwater, he's going to pop up like little bubbles. Like, close thing I think of is like fart bubbles. I know it sounds weird and juvenile, but I mean, it's the closest thing I really think of. There'll be bubbles coming from the water, from which he will resurface from. If he hits you with that, it's very akin to that, like a Diablos attack, where the Diablos will dig underground and come up and hit you again. Very akin to that. It hits very hard, truth be told, and it's pretty awesome to see. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if he doesn't hit you with it and you just see him shoot out the air, shoot out the water like that, pretty cool. But not a tough monster, guys. I really can't really stress that he's really not tough. I mean, if the Barrett is a lot harder than this guy, and if you got through the Barrett, then you will have no problems fighting him at all. Almost no time ever will you really truly and ever really be in danger. He kind of like, it's like he fights you actively, but not too much. So I mean, he's just kind of there. I mean, there's really not much to say about the guy. He's not a very super interesting monster. He's kind of cool to look at, but he's nothing too dangerous. So if you're thinking, is it going to be a tough fight? It's not. I recommend that you'll go in here with any weapon that you actually get a fighting monster with, and you'll do fine. But let's take a look at his weapons and things like that, because that's also very important as well. Okay, so now we're looking at his gear. Let's look at his skills first. Now, the first skill we have is actually Muck Resistance. If you guys remember from my Bears video, boom, Muck Resistance. And also, this monster and Bear, the only monsters in the game that I know of so far anyway, that actually even uses muck or mud or anything like that, so that way it can hinder you. So this skill is kind of throwaway. You don't really need the skill, because you will probably never use the skill ever again. So I mean, it's kind of whatever, unless you're grinding him out and you want to really help with going through the mud and things like that. Is really cool. Your next skill is going to be Ice Resistance. Now, Ice Resistance isn't too bad. It increases your ice resistance by 6 points. Later down the line, it will actually increase your defense overall, so that's actually pretty neat. So I mean, if you can get more, go for it. But as it stands, I haven't seen any ice monsters yet. There's not to say there isn't any ice monsters. I know there is, because there's ice here, so there's gonna be some ice monsters. But you probably, because I'm not necessarily super far in the game as I speak. I mean, I'm a little farther than I probably should be. I'm not here. Let's say that I'm not here. I'm down the line some. I'm just going back and making these videos, but For where I am, I'm quite a ways away from this guy. I see no ice monsters, so this skill you don't necessarily need to worry about right now. However, maybe further down the line, you might want to bring this skill back up in case you need to fight somebody with a bit more ice resistance. Regardless, that's that. Water attack. Now, this guy, his weapons do have water, so it's actually really good. Right off the rip, he gives you a plus 30 to your water attack, so it increases your water efficiency by a pretty decent amount, pretty decent margin, not bad. Also, if you get it further down the line, even further down the line, you get even greater bonuses. So I mean, maybe maybe somewhere in the close to the end game, having water attack or fire attack and something like that will be very beneficial and quite the meta. Who knows? Next, we have focus. Now, this ability is actually very useful for people who are using charge blade, bow, dual blades, excuse me, great sword, any kind of weapon that has like a charging kind of mechanic, whether it be like the charging up the great sword for the level 3 charge slash, or weapons that have like meter, like switch axe and the dual blades with the demon mode, or long sword with the spirit slash, things like that. It increases that by 5% and reduces the charge of it by 5%. So that's actually pretty cool. It helps. It's really helpful. Not super duper helpful, but it's a start for sure. Later down the line, increases it much better, of course. Now, lastly, we're looking at Aquatic Expert. This is a really cool skill. Prevents water from slowing movement. So, if you don't have the waterproof mantle yet, you can just use this particular skill to navigate through the water unimpeded. So, that's actually not that bad. Granted, I mean, you probably won't have to really use this particular skill too much after this guy. But, hey, at least you can get it from a piece of armor as opposed to just what do you call it, depending on like a mantle or something like that, freeing up that mantle slot for something else. So that's pretty much his armor there. His resistances, though, we're looking at a -15 to thunder. So if you come in with any kind of thunder, my man is kind of toastish. He's very good on water because he's from the water, of course. He has a small negative effect to fire, and he's pretty much solid against everything else. So thunder, if you would come back and fight this guy, because as it stands, you will not have thunder when you come to. It's kind of weird. They give you all these monsters with these weaknesses that you don't even see until later. Then you have to like backstep to actually use it effectively. Regardless, I mean, those are his weaknesses. I mean, not that bad actually. It's what you would expect from a water monster, truth be told. Even though he's a kind of mud-dwelling monster. His weapons, though, his weapons are actually very solid. I love all those weapons. They actually give you a very decent water and have very fair sharpness. But as it stands, that's pretty much all I really have for you guys in terms of Muddy Salt. He's not a very difficult monster, like I said before. His gear is great, okay? His weapons, I should say, his weapons are great. I'm using his weapons right now. There's a special brute weapon with their very interesting nose appendage kind of thing going on there that I would totally recommend using his weapons against. Just saying. That's some foreshadowing. Use water against big nose guy. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. But that's all I have for you guys today. It's been your boy Dak908, aka the Digger himself. Kind of a weird video today, I'll admit, but that's pretty much all I really could say about the Muddy Salt himself. I will talk to you all very soonish. Yeah, may the desire since favor be your favor, and you all take care. Have a wonderful day. Let me know if you like the video in the comment section. Just let me know. If you say it's crap, just say it's crap. If you like it, say yo Dak, good job.